This is Bill with Rocky Valley RV, and we're going to go over some tips and tricks on getting your camper ready for the season. In today's video, we are going to talk about your running gear and things to look at before you hit the road for your first trip to make sure that you're as safe as you possibly can be. One of the first things we need to look at is your tire condition. And it's always advisable to get down with a flashlight and do an inspection of the sidewall. And you're looking for any fine cracks, splits, bubbles, anything that doesn't look natural on the tire. The other thing you want to find is the DOT date code, which is going to be 4 numbers stamped in an oval. This trailer has a date code of 4420. And what that tells us is this tire was made in the 44th week of 2020. Tire manufacturers generally recommend changing the tires somewhere between 5 and 7 years from that date code. Some people just run them until they don't look the greatest before they swap them. We always try and err on the side of caution when we recommend tire changes. Date code, where they're produced. If they're made in China and they're some of the cheap tires that the factories put on, we've seen those dry rot from the inside out, look perfectly fine on the outside. So keep it in mind on that date and make sure you look up what their swap time is. The other place to look at is inside the grooves of the tire to make sure that there's no dry rot cracks in there. Another failure point is right there. After you've done that, you want to pull the center cap off, and in behind it is another little rubber boot. And you want to inspect the grease, make sure it's not black, but it's still nice and red. That grease is what dissipates the heat caused when the tire turns going down the road. So if that grease is old and bad, it doesn't dissipate the heat as well, which can cause excessive heat to get into your tires and cause blowouts. Check your trailer suspension as well. This trailer has Zerk fittings for a grease gun where all the axles connect to the frame. Those Zerk fittings, you pump until you can see grease on the opposite side of the shackle on each one, at least once a year. If you do a lot of traveling, probably more like 2 to 3 times. Now, when you have these caps off, you will find another Zerk fitting in there that feeds your wheel bearings. If you opt to use this, you want to lift the wheel off the ground, spin the wheel, and do 1 to 2 pumps of grease in that hub. We don't recommend doing this. It's too easy to blow out the seal and cause your brakes to be covered in grease, which then you're into replacing your brakes as well as a bearing repack. So best practice for us, what we recommend is to have your brakes and your wheel bearings inspected once every 2 to 3 years. Lippert Manufacturing recommends once a year, every 3,000 miles for a repack. We like to look at them. When the grease starts to break down, it's time to do them. To wrap up today's video, we want to remember to look at our tire condition, check for cracks, splits, sidewalls, and in the tread. Look at our grease in the bearings, make sure it's nice and red, not black, doesn't have an acidic smell to it. If you want a thorough inspection, give us a call at 865-205-5784. We'll look at your brakes, your wheel bearings, make sure everything looks good, and make sure you're safe to hit the road this year.